Yes, finally Friday and a new SatireAIzed compilation. Nothing says weekend vibes like questionable Indian street food that looks like it was assembled in a pothole and seasoned with yesterday's exhaust fumes. Grab a plate, if you dare, because tonight's menu is equal parts spice, chaos, and intestinal Russian roulette. Behold, ladies and gentlemen, the chef's latest Frankenstein stew, a bubbling cauldron of questionable fluids, each proudly excreted from whichever orifice destiny provided. A splash from here, a drizzle from there, and just when your stomach thinks it's safe, boom, he hits it with milk to guarantee instant digestive warfare. But why stop there? Our hero builds the base with chickpeas, a sprinkle of light soil for that delicate earthy note, a scoop of dark soil for depth, and naturally enough masala to stun a water buffalo at 20 paces. It's less of a recipe and more of an anarchic manifesto, cooked directly in the language of gastrointestinal rebellion. And the grand finale? A stale Indian fortune biscuit, crispy, cracked, and about as edible as a broken roof tile, is dunked into the molten brew like a sinking ship of regret. It scrapes up a lonely chickpea, takes on water, and disintegrates heroically while the crowd watches in awe. And the people? They don't hesitate. They shovel it down with the kind of enthusiasm you'd expect from folks auditioning for a stomach pump commercial. This isn't just food, it's chaos theory served in a bowl. Yes, the mighty dessert torpedoes, floating gracefully in a suspicious yellow syrup that looks like it was skimmed straight off a car battery. Each one is armed with little red warheads, ready to explode directly in your digestive tract the moment you take a bite. They don't even look like food. They look like military-grade cucumbers on vacation, soaking in sugar water until deployment day. The chef serves them with the seriousness of a naval commander launching submarines, sliding one onto your plate as if you've just been drafted into the world's sweetest war crime. And the locals? They eat them with joy, like it's completely normal to snack on diabetic depth charges disguised as dessert. One bite and boom, your stomach waves the white flag, your pancreas calls for backup, and you realize you've just swallowed the culinary equivalent of a live grenade dipped in honey. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the chefs unveil their next masterpiece. A mysterious puree crafted from the same questionable brews as before. Half potion, half plumbing accident. This time they knead it right there on the sacred street altar, folding in what appears to be stale Indian fortune cookies, reborn as dough. They let it ferment just long enough to absorb the taste of thunder and regret, before smashing it flat with the delicate precision of a man who clearly lost a bet. Want extra cheese? Of course you do. For that privilege, the chef will happily knead your order with his bare foot, because nothing says culinary authenticity like a size 42 imprint baked into your bread. And when it finally hits your plate, it's less of a snack and more of a dare. Half bakery, half biohazard, sprinkled with the mystery of whether you'll survive long enough to leave a review. And here we witness the birth of India's legendary pancakes, forged not on a skillet, but on what appears to be a blacksmith's anvil from the 15th century. The chef doesn't just cook, he forges, hammering down dough directly on a surface that looks like it's seen more swords than spices. The filling? Oh, only the finest. A mid-journey digestive blend straight from the stomach of a fully grown cow, generously ladled on top like Michelin-starred stomach acid. The result is less breakfast food and more historical reenactment of medieval torture, served with chutney. Here stands the legendary street chef, clutching not ingredients, but the sacred Dragon Balls of chaos, known in the Bollywood knockoff universe as Garbanzo Zed, Wrath of the Curry Cosmos. Each orb glows faintly, pulsing with the power to summon an ancient dragon. Could he invoke the beast? Could he command the cosmic curry serpent to rise from the cauldron and grant him unlimited chutney? No. Instead, he crushes it with his bare hands, releasing nothing but a cloud of methane-soaked chickpea vapor, strong enough to fumigate an entire bus station. 2 balls down, shattered forever, while the others wobble in their syrupy prison, daring the next fool to taste them. And the chef? He keeps cooking, as if this isn't dinner but a chaotic ritual to test the limits of both gastronomy and the human colon. Forget the delicate, glossy, Barbie-satisfying corn-peeling videos. This isn't that. This is India, where corn goes through medieval torture before it hits your plate. Our street chef doesn't peel kernels one by one. She shoves the entire cob straight through a rusty contraption that looks suspiciously like a chastity belt from the 12th century. The result? Total kernel carnage. Grains flying, husks shredded, and dignity lost somewhere along the way. This isn't cooking, it's execution. The corn doesn't get peeled, it gets exercised. And honestly, that's the only kind of content worth watching. The art of omelet making has reached a new pinnacle, or perhaps a new low, with this buttery spectacle. Who needs eggs when you've got an entire pound of butter? That's 2 whole sticks plus some, for the uninitiated, stealing the spotlight. This isn't just cooking, it's a love letter to the dairy aisle. The pan doesn't simply sizzle, it transforms into a molten lake of fat, shimmering with enough grease to lube a small car. The eggs, cracked in almost as an afterthought, struggle to find their place amidst the chaos, floating aimlessly like survivors of a buttery shipwreck. By the time this omelet hits the plate, it's less a meal and more a full-scale assault on moderation. One bite, and you're swept into a tidal wave of richness so intense it feels like your taste buds are being personally coated in a layer of butter. The ratio? Eggs, 10%. Butter, 90%. It's not so much an omelet as it is a dare, a culinary double-dog dare to see how much dairy your body can physically endure. In the end, it's not just food, it's a commitment to flavor, indulgence, and probably a cardiologist appointment. A buttery triumph for the brave of stomach and the bold of heart, literally. They say gastronomy is a journey, but our Uzbek friend Stu feels more like a kamikaze dive straight into the gates of hell. The recipe seems to stem from a personal challenge. How many chili peppers can a human endure before calling for an exorcist? Spoiler, too many. With the first bite, you're hit by a symphony of tears, snot, and regret. It's less about tasting food and more about surviving a volcanic eruption in your mouth. But the real magic happens a few hours later, when your stomach declares mutiny and your body decides to skip all courtesies. Let's just say you'll be peeing from places that aren't supposed to pee, and your rear end will feel like it moonlit as a flamethrower. So hats off to this culinary masterpiece. It's not every day you eat something that turns your digestive system into an inferno and leaves you questioning all your life choices. Welcome to the avant-garde of world cuisine, where rules, hygiene, and basic human dignity take a back seat. First, we enter a high-end community dining experience where guests sit cross-legged on the floor, eagerly awaiting their ration. Plates, outdated. Instead, the chef, an artist in his own right, parades through barefoot, hurling a sticky rice brick straight into their personal section of dirt. But the real magic happens when he returns, gleefully splashing a brown mystery sauce over the rice, creating a dish that's equal parts meal and forensic evidence. Next, we meet a pioneer of raw seafood, casually prying open wild clams with his teeth like he's cracking walnuts. Who needs cooking when you can enjoy parasites fresh and wiggling? Every bite is a thrilling gamble. Will he get anisakis, tapeworms, or the elusive full system shutdown? The suspense is delicious. And of course, after such a feast, one must cleanse properly. Hygiene is essential after all. Nothing like a traditional, locally sourced beverage, served fresh and warm, to wash it all down. Nature's own health tonic, pure, organic, straight from the source. Our gastronomic adventure begins with what can only be described as mutant donut orbs, suspiciously glistening under the streetlights. These plump abominations take a leisurely swim in a liquid that bears an uncanny resemblance to a Central Park puddle in peak autumn. A milky, leaf-infused broth that whispers promises of both flavor and gastrointestinal distress. Just as our senses recover from this initial assault, we are graced by the presence of Mr. Dough Fondler extraordinaire, a man whose dedication to stretching and manhandling a suspiciously chicle-like mass is truly commendable. With every pull, twist, and smack of his ungloved hands, the dough absorbs not just his touch, but perhaps a potent cocktail of street-seasoned vitamins and minerals. Germs? No, my dear viewer, these are organic enzymes, nature's secret seasoning. But the grand spectacle arrives in the form of Madame Mop, a fearless culinary artiste whose finishing touch on the meat involves what appears to be the very same mop used to clean the back alley an hour ago. With the reverence of a high priestess in a pagan ceremony, she anoints the sacred flesh, her motions reminiscent of a pope blessing bishops in a shadowy ritual best left undocumented. The result? A protein-packed dish infused with the spirit of, "Why did I agree to eat this?"